So with that, I think we can start.
Oh, yeah. So if we have any questions in the room, we'll go to the room. I see Richard too.
Jonny, out of the myriad of experiments that you guys were doing up there on station, which one did you find the most rewarding and why?
Hey, Richard. I think if I tap into maybe the medical or physiology side of my brain, the ones where I had an opportunity to work in the life sciences glove box. And so that's a very high-tech piece of hardware we have in the Japanese module. And one of the experiments we got to do was Mabel. It was the study of bone stem cells in different media and how the different environments could preclude bone loss, which would be important for astronauts and for people living on Earth who are suffering from bone and musculoskeletal related diseases. That one was particularly very interesting for me. I'd say also the one that I had a lot of fun with was maybe more the nerd and gamer side of me. And there was a great experiment where we got to interact with the robots with centers all around the world. And I had joysticks, I had very advanced controllers that were connected to these robots. And the idea was to see if astronauts maybe in orbit can interact with robots that were on the surface of, say, a planetary body. And if you do various experiments or various tasks without having to step foot onto that surface.
Okay, we'll go back to the room.
Richard two of the Post newspaper. Jonny, a follow-up question. Say someone that's fresh to the Corps gets selected for a mission. What advice would you give them as someone that just came back from 8 months on the ISS and all these fresh experiences in your mind? Advice you give to them to help prepare them to be successful?
Richard, I actually got to have this privilege to do just a couple of days ago. Frank Rubio, a classmate and a friend of mine, is the supervisor for the newest class of astronauts who arrived not too long ago. And I got to share 30, 45 minutes with them, and they were able to ask me about my experience and any questions that they had. And this question came up. And my response to them was that the most important aspect, the most important trait to have for a successful space mission is good interpersonal relationships. Is having the skills we term as soft skills, is having the ability to listen, to lead, to have compassion, most importantly, have empathy. I think we like to focus on flying jets or doing spacewalks, doing the really, really fun and hard and cool things in space. And those are important, absolutely. But mission success is not so much dependent on those technical skills. They are important, but for the most part, I mean, as astronauts, we are trained to a very high level in our technical expertise. And so technical expertise and competence is usually not a limiting factor. What's important is how we treat each other and how we do in those teams. Because going to the moon and going to the Mars is going to be a very long trip in a very small space. And if you do not get along or know how to get along with your crewmates, that is going to have a much bigger effect on mission success than any other technical skill.